My presentation is Winning with AI. We've now all heard over the last, say, about 2 years since ChatGPT came, that AI is going to change the world. There's a lot of fears, a lot of excitement, but the reality is closer to heart. The reality is that it is there, it is happening. Yes, it has its challenges. Yes, it has its opportunities. But the path that we have to take is not an easy one. We need to learn, we need to adapt, and we need to make sure it truly becomes an integral part of what we do as a business, as an industry, and as an ecosystem. So what I am going to present today is going to talk about a little bit about the evolution of why AI is important. I'm not talking about any best practices, I'm not talking about any tools, any suggestions of what you need to do, which tool you need to use, OpenAI versus Gemini and so on and so forth. But just to give a perspective and set the foundation for the rest of the day on why it is important that AI is an integral part of the world that we live in. My presentation is Winning with AI. And I think it's important to understand it's not about us or the technology, it's the combination of the two that needs to be coming together. It needs to be coming together because that is something we believe will be the future as we move forward. And that means if you are actually able to do that and integrate it, it can become an intern, a power tool, a marketing ally, or whatsoever you may choose. And I chose these 3 words. So, before I move forward, do you all recognize this logo? You all do, right? This is where the whole evolution started. And recently, Sam Altman actually said, it's not about using ChatGPT 5, it's not about using a search engine. It is all that it can create, which is magic to me. And I truly believe that is reflective in, specifically in the marketing world, where what we can see today is AI helping provide all this engagement, consumer engagement tools, etc. that move forward. But let me ask you something. If you all know what ChatGPT is, how many of you know what GPT stands for? Anyone? Sorry? No. We all say it every day. Generative pre-trained transformers. That's what it stands for. Means everything that you do on AI is pre-trained. What you learn from it is what you train it for. So if you are using a ChatGPT account, it morphs itself. It learns from what you are telling them and then starts to give the results back to you. It doesn't bring it out of the thin air. It is not magic. It needs to be trained. And when you are training it, these are the models that need to be trained as we move forward so that it can start to work closely with what you expect it to deliver rather than it delivering what it needs to be. So there is this general consensus. People feel it's not a nice world to live in, AI will take over. And they are real facts, real fears. 72% of Americans actually believe the AI world will not be a good world to live in. 50% of Europeans don't want to have children because they think AI will not help the education system and the livelihoods going forward. These are grounded fears, but that's not reality. The reality is we need to learn. We need to learn, adapt, and work with AI because it cannot do if you don't want it to do anything. Over the years, in 50 years, it might be different, but today, that's the reality. So if ChatGPT had a personality today, a lot of people may think what it may look like. And we try to give it to ChatGPT itself, OpenAI, and we ask them to do a GPT personality. This is what they came up with. On this slide, the one thing that you will find is missing is whatever picture ChatGPT comes up with, whatever picture we imagine it to be, that's what ChatGPT came up with. This is what I imagined the personality to be, personal. When I work on Midjourney and DALL-E, this is what I thought ChatGPT or OpenAI would be. But what it's missing is the heart. The human touch is not in the technology. That will only and only be available with humans. And therefore it's very important and very crucial for all of us to understand it cannot work in isolation. Humans are mandatory for its success, for its demise, for its availability or not so available scenarios for AI to function. Now, GPT also means general purpose technologies. And there's grounded facts that general purpose technologies evolutionize the world that we live in. It also, sorry, I bit into my own mustache. But it also means it's founded on some basic facts. General purpose technologies have been part of the evolution that we grew in. We all have lived through some of these general purpose technologies, and I'll share a little bit more about that. But whenever there is a general purpose technology that happens, it helps in increased productivity. AI is a good example of that. It helps in creation of new jobs. The fear that we have people will lose their jobs is not founded. If you look at any of the general purpose technologies in the past, whether it's in the last 100 years or before that, and I'll talk about what those really mean, is that it always helps create new avenues. When the internet came, people thought they will lose their jobs. But there are millions and millions of jobs that have been created. It also means that there are going to be very strong regulations, new thinking around how we adopt, how we build the world, and ethical considerations. Every evolution, whether manufacturing evolution, digital evolution, founded evolution, human evolution, they are ethical considerations that we need to be aware of. And last but not the least is the adjustment in the workforce and education. You need to train to be part of these general purpose technologies. And when I say general purpose technologies, I wanted to set the context of why it is important. But what is general purpose technologies? Electricity was a general purpose technology. It went across the world. Every home is lit with it. Every second piece of work that we work with as humans, interact with, has some sort of electrical component in it. It has changed the way the world works. The second general purpose technology that I want to talk about is internet. Internet was and is a general purpose technology. It works across the landscape. Today there are 9 billion people that are going to be connected to the internet. And the whole way that we believe internet has changed our lives is for us to see. We are living through it. The next general purpose technology is going to be AI. And we truly believe AI is going to build. I've heard these couple of podcasts and comments which are the optimists, not the naysayers in the world, saying that it will change. But if we look at electricity, we look at internet, if there's something to learn from those two, it has only improved our lives. Yes, there are challenges, but those challenges need to be met with regulations, with learning, with education, talent, and so on and so forth. But that is how the world is evolving, and that's how we need to evolve with it. So if you look at that, I'm going to change a little bit and talk about, I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm going to talk about the big blue, the big green, and the big purple. So what is blue? Blue is actually all about intelligence, artificial intelligence and computing. The quantum computing that works and revolutionizes the world. We are currently in these three stages of evolution. So one is the big blue, which is artificial intelligence and computing. The second one is big green, which is the biotech technology, genome, artificial production. Now these are three things that are happening in real time. We may be focused in this room today talking about AI. In the last 5 years, 10 years, we have all been talking about climate change, we've been talking about green biotech, we've been talking about clean tech, saving energy, biofuel and so on. They are all happening at the same time. But these are the three big waves, and biotech is one of them. And then there is purple. And this is based on a futurist called Gerd Leonard, and this is his theory, where he's predicting the future where all these three waves, if you will, are going to work in tandem, and they're going to build on each other. Artificial intelligence or computing, as we say it, is a fancy word, artificial intelligence, but it's quantum computing, right? It's going to help aid biotech. Biotech will aid the purple, big purple, which is all about focus on prosperity, purpose, and good livelihood and good world that we live in. They cannot work in isolation. You cannot have biotech without computing. You cannot have good purpose without doing either biotech or computing. So they need to work in tandem. And this is little away from marketing, what I'm talking about right now, but I wanted to set the stage as to why it is important. It is not important from a function perspective of generative AI, being able to create 10 creatives for you on a prompt. It is going to be part of our lives as we move forward, as general purpose technologies. And the sooner we look at it and understand the quantum and the breadth at which they are working, and how they are going to influence the world is crucial. And therefore it is important for us to look at all these things. But now, for zoning in on AI. What does AI actually truly mean for us? Artificial intelligence. So these are power tools. If we look at specifically within the three changes, the three waves, AI is all about creating these power tools that we will have. It will be all about making sure that the human technology that we are as human beings is being able to use and decipher some of these with the human instinct as part of it. It again will not work in isolation. It is pre-trained, as we spoke about with GPT, right? And we need to make sure that it works in the manner that we want it to work. The reason for that is machines. AI is nothing but a machine. And machines don't think, they don't understand, and they don't care. It's the humans that. That is the balance that needs to be created in the world. It cannot work on ethical grounds. By itself, it has no standard. It will never have. It is for us to train it. It is for us to work on it and work on it as a tactic knowledge. And I'll talk more about what tactic knowledge is as we move forward. It's always going to be overruled by humans because it doesn't think of on its own. I think I'm missing my slides. Yeah. Intelligence is ability to solve problems. Yes, AI brings that intelligence. Consciousness is the ability to feel things. They cannot. AI and machines cannot feel. It's important to know that and recognize that. Human instinct will always overrule AI. The reason for that is the tactic knowledge that we have, the emotions, the feelings, the understanding, the presumptions. AI will not be able to manifest them on its own. We have to provide that. And therefore, humans will always have the tactic knowledge of how to govern AI. So this fear that AI is going to change the way humans work, I don't think so it's happening in the near future. Maybe 50 years down the line, I am not predicting that. But the reality today is this. I don't think so even 50 years down the line that will happen, by the way. It's only fiction movies in Hollywood that say that. But I don't think so it will happen. It didn't happen with electricity, it didn't happen with internet, it didn't happen with manufacturing, it will not happen with AI. So what does that lead us to? It basically means that we will be able to manage the way AI works, and in that scheme, logic alone is not enough. Pure intelligence without consciousness is actually dangerous, and you can't let that drive the business. You will never be able to, in a marketing environment, ask any tool to generate a creative on your brand and not look at it before you put it out. You will always look at it because the feel, the consciousness, the emotion is not what AI will generate. Only humans will generate that. And you will have that feel from the creative when you see it. So what I'm going to propose to you is a framework that we've been working on at MMA, which is called the TAG framework, TGA. So what does T stand for? T stands for training. It's a key call out for skilling. It is vital as we move forward to enable and embrace what that technology is. So we need to be trained. We need to skill ourselves, we need to skill the workforce, we need to skill the organization so that we can start to adapt. Governance is the second. And it is to ensure the benefits of the machine learning or the algorithm or the other forms of artificial intelligence are utilized and fulfilled to their fullest, but in a governed manner. We all know training is important, but training in a framework, in a governed framework is crucial. And then comes accountability, which is fairness, inclusivity, and also transparency. We need to be aware of this. This is the tactic knowledge that I was talking about, which lends itself. So, AI as a magic, not really, it's a machine. To the waves, to the predetermined, pre-trained transformers, you need to train it to build those evolution that is happening with the big blue, big green, big purple. It all starts to work towards the same goal, which is to help humans lead a better life, lead a better product environment, workforce environment, so on and so forth. It fosters convergence and the value of fairness, the value of inclusivity and transparency. We often lack clarity in all of this, and therefore ethics become very important. And please understand, by itself, technology has no ethics. Ethics, by the way, is knowing the difference between what you do, what you have the right for, and to do what the right thing is. And by definition, the machines don't have those ethics. And we need to be aware of that, and we need to be cognizant of the fact that those ethics need to come from us. I'll give you an example of this ad that I saw recently in India, which was done by a federal bank. If you actually see, it says in the ad, imagine, it's very small, but you should be able to see it, imagined by human, generated by AI. These are very simple, straightforward frameworks, ethics that you can start to adapt. And you need to do it. It's done by humans. It's not done by machines. So, and as part of this whole evolution, I just want to quickly give you an overview of what MMA is doing, what we've been doing around the world. We've been working on few of these frameworks, few of these guidelines, whether it's the generative AI space, whether it's the state of marketing, we've done service. There are various amount of resources which are available for you to use. You can use these resources, you can learn from these resources, not only at MMA, but around the world. It's all about community. You need to build those communities. You need to have those communities where you are looking at rightfully building those platforms. We are doing our piece. Our efforts are going into building some of that. But there are places around everywhere where you look at, every organization that you work with, every other sector that you work with. They are communities and you need to learn from them. We're doing some of that work in relation to content, audience measurement, responsible AI, which is around ethics. We're also doing a lot of work around research, trying to understand what the marketing world needs, and then putting that together into the TGA framework of creating skill sets, creating training programs, and so on and so forth. This goes back to the framework that I talked about: training, governance, and accountability. We are doing our bit. There are enough resources for you guys to learn from. So towards the end of my presentation, I want to talk about two things. Future is the work, and I hope it sets the context to how we think of AI, how I think of AI, and how we should embrace AI. What a large opportunity AI presents itself. So we need to be adaptive on that, but going together with technology and humans as together actually means it's a reminder that there is no black and white. We need to be comfortable with the gray. It's not going to happen today. You're not going to get everything fixed today. You're going to go through that journey. As you go through that journey, there will be gray. And we need to be part of that gray and embrace it. Because as we embrace it, as we start working with it, as we start learning it, that's where we believe the mandate for AI, the mandate for humans will start to come together. So, the question is not what AI will do to us. I think what I'm going to leave you with is how and what we want it to do for us as an intern, as a power tool, as an ally, as a marketing ally. Because if we've understood the general purpose technology, it is how, whether it's electricity, whether it's internet, whether it's manufacturing or any other way, it's how we humans have effectively used it and made it part of our lives to make them better. And I think AI is going to be no different. And therefore, it is very important that if you want to be part of this, if you want to be taking advantage, we need to win with AI, but being part of AI, not being in isolation of AI. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that.